Imagine having a dentist tell you he needs to pull half of your teeth and then later learning maybe that wasn't even necessary. A handful of Indianapolis patients say that is their reality.
Can't imagine, but they're now suing that dentist who's also been accused of cheating the Medicaid system and taking your tax money. As ITV's Bennett Haeberle uncovered, it's a nationwide problem involving hundreds of dentists accused of dental overtreatment.
The Amazing Family Dental Office in Indianapolis advertises low-cost extractions, natural dentures, and walk-in appointments. But when Kyung Farnsley walked in, she walked out with half her teeth.
He proceeded to do the exam and told me that I had an infection in my mouth, that some of the teeth were infected. He would need to pull them.
Kyung said Dr. Shadrach Gankwe told her he would need to pull all of her bottom teeth, along with some others.
He said the infection was so bad that if I didn't get them pulled out, I could walk out and have a heart attack and die. And I never heard that before.
Concerned for her health, Kyung says she went along with the doctor's recommendation.
If he says it's that severe and I'm gonna die, I'm gonna trust him. I have 2 small boys at home. I can't leave them. You know, I'm a single mom at the time. I can't leave them.
Afterwards, Kyung says she was given only pain medication, no antibiotics for that supposedly life-threatening infection. Weeks went by, and Kyung says she never got her dentures, so she found a new dentist, who she says told her the painful procedure was unnecessary.
So when he said that, I was just completely shocked and devastated. I mean, my heart was broken all over again.
That was 2012. 3 years later, she is still tangled up in a legal battle with Dr. Gankwe. And she's not alone. At least 4 other patients have active malpractice lawsuits against Gankwe, claiming in court records he made them believe that they were in imminent danger and needed to immediately have all their teeth pulled or risk death by suffering a heart attack. We reached Dr. Gankwe by phone at his Raymond Street office, where he is still practicing. While he wouldn't answer questions, he did say this.
The story is nothing new, and I will...
The story's nothing new?
I will refer you to my attorney for any further comments, okay? I think you're looking for something where there is none.
His attorney provided us with a statement that reads in part, Amazing Family Dental and its dentist is vigorously defending each of these claims and that the treatment of each patient is medically appropriate.
It's not just a cosmetic harm, it's emotional harm.
Kelly Johnson is Kyung's attorney. She says 3 years after this incident, the case has yet to see the inside of a courtroom. Why? Because under Indiana law, Johnson says the case must first be heard before the Department of Insurance, where a panel of dentists will determine if Gankwe met the standard of care.
We're not close yet. Yeah, I expect another year in the medical review panel process before we can actually still bring the case in state court. It's a long road.
Currently, the Indiana Attorney General's office has 44 active licensing complaints against Indiana dentists. Nearly a third of those involve patients claiming they were subjected to overtreatment or unnecessary work. And it's not just here, it's a nationwide problem. From Arizona to Texas, Louisiana, and New York, all have reported similar cases, many involving children. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services issued a report last fall on pediatric dentistry. It found dozens of dentists across the country with questionable billing practices who may be billing for services that are not medically necessary or were never provided. 95 Indiana dentists are referenced in that federal report. Dr. Gankwe is among them. In March, Indiana's Attorney General filed a licensing complaint against Gankwe, claiming he fraudulently received more than $27,000 in Medicaid reimbursements. Doug Bush is with the Indiana Dental Association. He couldn't speak to Dr. Gankwe's case, but says cases like those should be considered outliers.
Those bad actors hurt the entire profession, and it also scares patients. I mean, if that's the image that you have of what it's like to go to a dentist, you're more likely to avoid going to the dentist.
The IDA offers a peer review program in an effort to settle disputes between patients and dentists. Bush says if patients have questions about their care, they can always seek a second opinion.
Most dentists are not going to be offended at all.
Kyung says the emotional trauma still lingers, and she's unsure when or if her legal dispute will be settled.
It's really scary. Regardless, he shouldn't be a dentist anymore.
Now, another lawyer representing Dr. Ganque tells us that expert witnesses claim he did nothing wrong. A June 5th hearing regarding the Attorney General's complaint against Dr. Ganque could determine if his license will face any sanctions. And that federal report we mentioned found that 95 Indiana dentists were given at least $30 million in Medicaid reimbursements in 2012 alone, and that is tax money. The state says it now has new systems in place to catch this.
It's a fascinating investigation. And